basically, I'm genuinely curious about this whole situation about what is it? Totally not Mark. That's his name. Sometimes I keep forgetting. But for those who don't know the context of the video that we're going to be discussing, it's basically this. So there's a YouTuber, an anime YouTuber, who goes by the name Totally Not Mark. And what happened is that all of a sudden, like literally overnight, I think it was in the span of 8 minutes or 8 hours, the animation company Toei, responsible for like animations such as Dragon Ball, One Piece, and I honestly don't know any others. I only know those two, quite honestly. But in the span of like 8 minutes or 8 hours, Toei managed to take down 150 plus of his videos within like one moment, and approached YouTube on Twitter, because for some reason the only way you as a YouTuber you can properly communicate with YouTube is through Twitter for some weird goddamn reason. So he contacted YouTube via Twitter and was like, my videos have just been taken down, can you please check this out to see what's the problem? YouTube was like, yeah sure, we'll probably check it out right now. And then they hit him back and say, I'm sorry, our hands are tied because all of these claims were manually taken down, which doesn't make sense for somebody or somebodies to take down 160 plus videos within 8 minutes manually. It's physically impossible for a person to do that unless they have a whole team manually taking down every single one of his videos. That's basically the context of what we're going to be talking about, and more importantly, our topic here is, are we next? Because what is the future for anime YouTubers if this is the type of situation we're going to be facing, where one company can suddenly take down the entire channel? And it's not like he got striked, he got copyright takedowns. So luckily his channel isn't at risk. It's more of a case of 2 years worth of recording has just been deleted within a single day. And the crazy part is that even he had some videos where he was like drawing a Dragon Ball Z character. So the fact that he drew it and it still got taken down for copyright is a bigger problem, which is what we're basically going to be discussing throughout this entire video. Now, I know I've been rambling on, I apologize, but yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's really bizarre to think that something you create from your own skills and literally from your mind, like a drawing, to be claimed and taken down by a massive company, when in reality they should have absolutely no rights to do so. It's quite literally half intellectual property of yourself, because you're not making money off of a drawing itself. You're not like posting it on your t-shirts, and you're just doing it off your mind and off your skills. It's completely dependent on the consumer themselves. So that kind of thing is extra bizarre, because it's really off-putting when literally nothing of Dragon Ball is safe, even though you make it from the foundation.
I think in this case, the reason why they also took down the video that he released of him drawing a Dragon Ball character is because technically he's still using their IP. So, for example, Nintendo likes to do this a lot. We better be happy for Totally Not Mark, because he's not getting attacked by Nintendo ninjas. For those who don't know, Nintendo ninjas are basically corporate bodies within the Nintendo organization that like purposely stalk people who are claiming or using the Nintendo IP. So they'll literally, there's a whole story about it. I'll probably link it in the description, but there's a whole story about like a Nintendo sending people to physically stalk a person, as well as like online stalking, physically stalking, to make sure that this person is within orderly conduct. And then they even created this whole plan of like they created this whole organized plan, whereas like, we'll approach this dude on this certain day, tell him that he's been using our IP, and either tell him to join us at Nintendo, and if he refuses, then we'll basically sue his ass into oblivion. So we kind of gotta be grateful for Mark that that's not what's happening with him with this whole Toei situation. But the fact that they're trying so heavily to claim their IP to the point where even if I just draw, it's gonna get claimed. Now that actually made me concerned, even more concerned, because if they're gonna claim a drawing, right, doesn't that mean us as like, for example, manga and anime review channels, aren't we most at risk? I thought maybe at first, oh, maybe they're not gonna attack us because we're doing anime only. But the fact that a drawing got claimed as well means that manga isn't safe as well, because I mean, if the AI can kind of recognize that, oh shit, they're using a Toei IP, even if it's in manga form, they can still take down our videos. And isn't that also a problem we need to be aware of?
I'd assume the manga itself is not a problem. I would say most of the drawings on YouTube of Goku and Vegeta is most likely colored, so that's why the software system probably thought this was a anime frame or something like that. But when it comes to the manga itself, Toei, as far as I know, has nothing to do with it because they are an animation company, so they only adapted the manga into anime. So they own the animation, but the actual manga is owned by Shonen Jump. So they have quite literally no power over the manga itself, just like every other production ever. They have everything that is not manga, they have power over it.
Okay, you have a point, but now doesn't that kind of set a premise right now? Because let's look at it like this: this giant animation company, it's not just Toei, it's also how do you say this? Shisui? I don't know how to say this one animation company, but I'll probably put it on screen so you understand what I'm talking about. But it's not the first company to constantly like dish out punishment to people who use the IP. I mean, us as anime YouTubers, we're kind of known that every single time you want to talk about an anime like ReZero, just stay away from the anime because Kadokawa likes to immediately claim your videos, like hectic takedowns and all of that type of shit. But the premise I was busy thinking of is the fact that if they're not small, but if these companies now can do this and know that it's effective, because nobody's going to legally go up against a like billion-dollar company. So the fact that these companies now know they can do this perfectly without any repercussions except for like public backlash, how many more companies are going to do this? Like manga companies, like Shonen Jump could do this, or David Productions could do this. Like so many companies can now do this going forward as a way of combating piracy and everything of that nature. So even if they're not going to claim mangas now, who's to say they're not going to claim it in the future? That's the most dangerous waking thought.
Yeah, at the moment, manga is probably safe, but this will set a precedent for other studios to probably follow suit. But at the same time, over time, some of the studios and companies over at Japan started to somewhat understand the fair use law and somewhat allow all of these clips to exist on the internet. That's why a lot of non-One Piece and non-Dragon Ball videos and stuff like that are still on YouTube. So most companies are far more chill about it, and sometimes take more precedence on their name and do not really want to shoot their own consumers. Because what Toei is doing could really well impact their sales if they really push it too much, because at the end of the day, you are producing stuff. If you don't have someone to give that production to, it's a GG, you're gonna get bankrupt. So there's only so much you can really shoot your own audience. So that's why a lot of other companies that are smaller than Toei really don't want to risk it, because they are, well, smaller and really don't want to ruin their names at the start of their careers. So that's why right now, at least, most studios are kind of chill about it, but later on it could go both ways depending on how this totally not Mark situation subsides. And this could also change the YouTube landscape in terms of how people use animation clips and video construction, because right now Mark literally uses like 3 seconds of like one clip and then doesn't use the rest of the clip. But if that got taken down, from now on it's completely plausible to see anime YouTubers only using like manga clips and really still shots, because no one really wants to deal with copyright claims and you're just gonna be losing money. So it's, for some YouTubers, it's not gonna be that much of a trade-off, but at the same time, a lot of the cases it will impact the quality of content, because at the end of the day, you're watching a video. If you want to watch a podcast like this one, like and subscribe. But if you want to watch a podcast, you'll just go on Spotify. Like, YouTube is a video platform, so stripping away what makes videos, it's just gonna downgrade the content just by extension. Like, no one really can argue on that. You imagine this, to give an example: someone talk about fights and then showing you frame by frame about how a fight animation proceeds. Now imagine that, but with still shots with just impact frames. Like, it's not gonna have the same effect, and it's really not going to convey the same points the guy wants you to understand. It's going to be far more dependent on the actual word for word words like commentary.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I think in this case, companies like Toei, the big companies, they genuinely don't care, because the fact that it's like anime YouTubing is a very small niche. It's a very small audience as well, especially on the YouTube platform. I mean, sure, there are like channels like Giguk, the Anime Man, and I don't know, like Masked Man, who have like over 100,000 subscribers to their names, even though it's like anime YouTube and stuff like that. It's still a very small niche, and in the eyes of Toei, for example, there are 6 billion people now on the planet. So take that, and then take, for example, the 100,000 people that are subscribed to for example, Masked Man. That's a very small minority. Like, literally, Toei has no fucks to give in regards to creators for this entire situation, because as much as they're concerned, it doesn't really affect their pockets in any way. They're basically taking the Nintendo route, where we will continue to buttfuck the entire community. Why? We don't care, because you're still going to consume the media regardless. Like a YouTuber like Totally Not Mark, yeah, sure, he's getting buttfucked right now by Toei in regards with Dragon Ball and One Piece, and who knows what other animes are probably gonna get taken down from his channel. At the end of the day, he's most likely still going to end up consuming Dragon Ball media and One Piece media. So I think that's the mentality they have diving into the situation. We don't care, because at the end of the day, you're still going to feed from our hands. And that's the really fucked up part, because it's not like we can boycott in situation. I mean, people do sort of boycott Toei and most anime companies by pirating anime on like different websites, but then again, it shows that they're really trying to take action against them by taking down websites such as Kiss Anime. So it's really concerning what they're planning to do with not only just anime YouTube, but in terms of just anime consumption in general.
Yeah, it's they're really cracking down on absolutely everything anime related. But but as you said, right now, foreign like money they make outside of Japan is considerably low in comparison to what they make inland. But at the same time, this has been growing, the amount of money they get from overseas every single year, with dozens of percentages being added. Last year, or I think this year, when there was like a countdown of it, apparently anime production and like outsourcing made up of 50% of all anime revenues, including Japan. So slowly but surely the market is getting broader and bigger. So there's only so far you can bully the anime community, because you may have full control in Japan with non-existent copyright use, but at the same time, what if in like next 10 years the outside world gets like 80% share of the animes and like Japan only gets 20? You can't really shoot a giant who's like 100 times bigger than you. Right now they have a lot of power, but if they really keep this up, it could really tarnish their reputation. It's already tarnished, but like, I mean, their stocks and all of their income will drastically decrease. If anything, right now they should be trying to broaden their horizons instead of shutting it down, because like at the end of the day, it's about money. I'm not a company leader or a CEO or anything like that, but like a monkey would realize that shooting your own consumers and restricting and gatekeeping stuff like this will remove consumers. Removing consumers would mean loss of potential revenue. So this is like a mixed bag. At the same time, they're losing money from doing stuff like this, but at the same time, it's not significant enough that really affects them as of now.
I think it's definitely significant. I remember when making the thumbnail for this video, I searched up Toei, and it showed like the market share or whatever. And if I remember correctly, I'll double check. The market has already gone down by I think 100 or 1,000% just because of this entire situation that's been going on. So they're clearly suffering from this situation. But again, I think smaller companies aren't acting out like this because they recognize that the anime YouTube landscape, or just any landscape that talks about anime, is very important to the whole idea of like promotion. Let's say you make an anime and it's absolutely shit, like nobody watched it on launch day, and then you get a certain big YouTuber who will end up talking about it, reviewing it either in a positive or a negative way. Either ways, it brings light to that anime, and that anime can eventually grow, and the company that spent a lot of money making it can somewhat make some of that money back. I mean, most people pirate their animes these days, but it's still something. And I think because of Toei has big, like huge acclaimed titles like Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball franchise, and One Piece. They don't really care about that whole situation of, oh, we're trying to bring light to One Piece or Dragon Ball. They don't care because they already kind of been established as huge series within the entire world. I mean, to be like, for example, Dragon Ball, I think, if I remember correctly, Goku was the mascot for the 2020 and 2021 Olympics in Japan. So Dragon Ball is already pretty acclaimed. One Piece has multiple statues around the entire world. I mean, so does Dragon Ball. They have theme parks and all of that stuff. So it's really, they don't have to care about the promotion and stuff. But the fact that they're really they shooting the audience, and the audience will bite back. And I don't think this billion-dollar company recognizes that. They just think like, oh, we don't like you, and now we're going to punish you for it. And they didn't think of the after effects. But the thing that really gets me is why Mark specifically? Out of every single YouTuber on this landscape, why was he specifically targeted? Especially if it's the fact that YouTube said they were all manually claimed. So who manually went to him and claimed all of his videos, and why him specifically? What did he do to be on their radar?
I don't think, yeah, obviously he didn't do anything wrong. He was within every rights to use those clips. But I think the reason he was targeted is because he has the most bulk of Dragon Ball and One Piece content. So that way they got the most out of it, I would assume, from like just taking these guys instead of just shooting at the YouTube platform itself and like hoping you will hit someone who has like posted a One Piece video. This place, Mark's channel, was concentrated Dragon Ball content. So I would assume they just went full blast on it and just shot everything.
Yeah, but like, how did they find him? Because I know he's not the only Dragon Ball YouTuber on the platform. He's not the only One Piece one. I've subscribed to other One Piece content creators, but they haven't been hit this bad. This dude got 160 plus videos taken down in the span of a single day. So I know there's other channels that also focus on Dragon Ball, but they haven't suffered this issue as well. So I don't understand how him, out of all people, got taken down. Like, on the plus side, yes, because of this situation, he's getting a lot of eyes on him. Therefore, his channel can grow from this entire situation as like a community support. But he's still losing, again, as he said, 2 years worth of videos of content just taken down in a single day. But again, why him? Out of every single YouTuber, like, the anime YouTube landscape is oversaturated. So how did they pick him out of the entire oversaturated population and just like attack him at once?
They kind of have this kind of shriek where, as Mark said in his video, he was like promoting a concert of Dragon Balls across the US on his channel, and a couple of months later, here we are. And the same type of thing happened with another creator when, on one hand, at Facefront, they were like promoting this stuff together as a collaboration, but in reality, behind the shadows, Toei was fucking the shit out of that guy. But these massive takedowns were, well, this second case is not really that massive, but it's still like a consecutive takedowns that happened in a short span of time. The Mastar Media, the guy who did Anime Wars, he included a lot of Dragon Ball characters, even though they were like, most of them were like original. He still included Dragon Ball characters in his animations. And apparently one day Toei came across some of these, and they took every single one of his episodes down, and obviously was targeted. And the same kind of thing happened here. The motive behind it, it's a stupid motive, but to give a reason, I'd say it's maybe because it had a lot of concentrated Dragon Ball content. And when you think Dragon Ball, at least for me, totally not Mark and a couple of other YouTubers like Geekdom coming to play. So as far as I see it right now, it's probably Mark is the first one to take the bullet, and most likely other people were coming as well. But as we see now, Toei is getting a lot of shit, and Twitter is trending with Toei in the US. So they really obviously didn't expect this kind of a backlash. So only time will tell if they're gonna keep stuff like this up. Motives is it's a billion-dollar company. Like, it's hard to necessarily pinpoint what their actual reason is, because for everyday people like us, it's illogical and stupid. you're losing money and reputation. But on their end, it's maybe it has other reasons, but unless they're shown right now, they look like idiots.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense, and it makes me wonder with this entire situation that's just happened, how many YouTubers do you reckon are probably going to like panic? Privating your videos doesn't even work because YouTube has shown multiple times in the past that a video can still get a copyright strike even though it has been deleted, not even privated, but actually deleted, which is the craziest thing to me. The fact that you can delete a video off the face of YouTube and it can still get copyright strike because it's been backlogged into the system. Anyways, I just wonder how many YouTubers are going to like hide their content from these big companies, private it where they can still keep the revenue or unlist them or get rid of it some way in order to prevent these things from happening to them. Because I'm pretty sure like YouTubers, small YouTubers like us, we're discouraged from making more content that involves like anime, and content creators who haven't began their YouTube career but want to get into it are probably going to be discouraged from doing so just because of this entire issue. Because I don't know, an average YouTuber will spend like a maximum of like 8 hours per video, and having that just taken down in the snap of a finger just doesn't make sense to anybody. It's immoral, and for big YouTubers I'm pretty sure it's the scariest, because especially if you're a person who does YouTube full time, so literally YouTube is your breadwinner, it's your only source of income, which I think is a dumb choice. That you shouldn't have only one source of income. But anyways, if it's their only source of income and then it's just getting mass flagged, I think that's the scariest thing, because you're losing so much of your livelihood, and that's just, it's panicking. As a YouTuber right now, like as an anime YouTuber, it's really making me discouraged from continuing the anime genre just because of this issue. And I know there'll be some people will be like, oh, then just stick to manga. But again, as we mentioned earlier on in this video, how far are companies willing to go? Are they going to actually target anime manga channels as well, like review channels? We don't know. So that's the scariest part. We don't know what's next. We're looking at the situation that's going on, and usually when situations like this happen, they only ever get worse. I'm not just being pessimistic. These usually get worse with time. And how do we avoid that as anime creators? I'm genuinely curious to hear everybody's opinion, whether you're an anime creator or you're not, or you're just a viewer. How do you think anime creators should go on or will go on, knowing that this is the precedent that has been set?
I would say anime YouTubers will have to really double down on what they show on screen, which, as we said at the start of the video, will really objectively downgrade videos, because at that point will no longer be a video, it will just be an audio recording. So that's guaranteed to happen. Secondly, I'd say YouTubers like, what is that guy's name? Chuck, Geekdom, and every other Dragon Ball One Piece related YouTuber would have to like shift their content towards something like what Tekken does. He just sits down and talks about anime and manga, mostly One Piece now, and he allows only just his face and his personality to shine. He doesn't really edit it. And I would assume stuff like this will have to come into play from now on if the situation does get worse, because you'll quite literally won't have any other choice. Like, you use a clip, you're gonna get clapped. You don't use clip, well, time to let your personality shine the most, because you can't rely on editing. And the other problem would probably be maybe deleting videos, because if you already gained money from these videos, it's been a while, it's been like a year since you posted a video, and they already made a lot of money, and these are like Dragon Ball One Piece videos, you can maybe delete them, and that way it will no longer be on the platform, at least on your channel even more. It's certainly better than being privated when it makes zero difference. But deleting might allow you to not get flagged, at least massively, like what Totally Not Mark happened in Mastar. That's probably another, well, it's not a solution, but it's one way to maybe dodge the bullet. I'm still not really sure of that, but from what I know, deleting works like removing a video completely. So in theory it should work, but as you said, YouTube probably keeps a catalog of all these videos, so only possible way is to downgrade the content or just move on to other medias. And yeah, having one source of income is bizarre and stupid. Instead of spending that money on luxury, shady, people should invest and have other source of incomes and not really be obliviously invested and just laser focused on YouTube. Do other things, grow out of YouTube. That's probably the main goal of most proper and smart anime and YouTubers in general. They just need to grab YouTube, make as much like revenue all that possible with content, and then grow out of it and invest and in infrastructure and maybe even what is that called? Housings. Yeah, like to get to
Real
like sell
estate.
them or real estate to like rent them out, and you'll have a constant source of income with that, and it will be far more stable than YouTube when one day you're doing and the other way you're being you're being face fucked in
Yeah.
front of millions of people.
YouTube is the craziest platform to invest all your put all your eggs into the basket, because again, like Mark didn't know this was gonna happen. It just doesn't make sense where it's like it doesn't make sense to put all of your hopes and revenue or all of your expectations into one single platform, knowing that the next day you wake up everything can be gone. Just like when Leafy got taken off the YouTube platform, didn't he get like three strikes in one day? In a single day his entire channel just got absolutely buttfucked removed from the platform. So I think it's dangerous to do that, but the craziest part for me is how one single channel, an incident that happened to one single channel, literally changed the entire the entire meta for all of anime YouTube. If we think about it like that, it's just honestly, this is why that hashtag fuck Toei is so massive right now, because it's not even the case of just spreading awareness or Toei is being shitty right now. Anime YouTubers who are spreading awareness for the situation are not only just doing it because of Toei is an evil company right now. It's also the situation of this has changed the meta of YouTube for anime YouTube creators. Even though some people don't realize it, or maybe people are like, oh, it's just a small thing, you're probably overreacting. Thinking about it long term, it's completely changed the meta. We're not allowed to do the same things we were once allowed to do back then. And I think that's the scariest thing, because we've been pushed out of our comfort zone. Not even slowly. We've just been shoved. We've been forced out of our comfort zone and being like, this is the new YouTube landscape. Deal with it. This is what you're going to be dealing with for the rest of your YouTube career. If you don't like it, we don't care. And whoa, it is crazy to me. I don't think I want to do anime YouTube anymore. Like, the fuck?
Yeah, and a lot of people will probably have the same kind of reaction because it's not worth it. Even though passion drives most of the anime creators, there's only so much passion can do. If you're getting slapped left, right, and center and are pretty much in the minuses when it comes to finances, there's only passion will not put food on the table. At the end of the day, that's what YouTube is about. It's about, and people don't want to admit this, but let's be fucking real here. Almost all creators on YouTube do it for views and money.
Except for
and they
Charlie.
just
Penguin Zero doesn't do it like that. Charlie's built different.
He's built different. He's Jesus Christ 2.0. So of course he doesn't need it. He can create the bread. He can be like, yeah, want to be wine now. So yeah, that's one exception. But yeah, from now on, probably expect for most anime YouTubers to barely use any, especially One Piece and Dragon Ball content. It's bizarre things. Usually, in a proper world, change comes slowly. But this, as you said, it's literally just your landlord coming in and telling you, hey, you're no longer living here. Get the fuck out in 5 seconds or I'm gonna sue you. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much how this situation is going on right now. And it's just gonna really fuck everything up. Imagine all the rules you've known once being like updated out of existence. Control Z. Oof.
It's the thing that really worries me the most, because like you said, with the whole random change and everything, it just I don't know how to phrase this properly. The fact that the meta's changed, it's so abrupt. And oh yeah, you mentioned the whole thing of passion. Passion doesn't put food on the table. And even if there are YouTubers who are doing it for the sake of passion, like they don't care about the money. I totally understand that. I salute you for that. I personally do want some revenue to come from YouTube. But even if you're doing it for the sake of passion alone and you're not worried about it making revenue or anything, the issue isn't the fact that revenue is being taken. The issue is the fact that your content will still be taken down. You'll still be completely removed. So even if you say, oh, I don't care about the money, they don't care either. Money doesn't have to do with it. The fact that the content will be gone. You'll spend 2 to 8 hours, or some people are built different. They edit in 30 minutes. I don't know how, but like, for example, 30 minutes to 8 hours making a video, posting it, 5 minutes later, it's absolutely removed. And if you re-upload it, it's gone again. So like, even if you say money is not the important thing, I'm just doing it because I'm passionate about the anime, they don't give two fucks. They'll still remove the video off the platform. And if you try and appeal it, then normally if they reject your appeal, it becomes a takedown. Like, it becomes a copyright strike, and 3 strikes means you're out. So that means if you're going to, for example, appeal 3 videos at a time and they reject the appeal for all 3, then your channel's gone. Or let's say you remove the appeal, you appeal the video twice, right, and they reject it, and then you get 2 strikes. You have to wait, I think, 6 months to have your slate cleaned off. You have to wait half a year for your slate to be completely cleaned off for you to then appeal 2 more strikes, which they're probably going to deny again and again and again. Do you know how long that's going to take? That process is absolutely not worth it, especially if it's in the case of Mark, where he got 160 videos taken down and absolutely removed. So how are you going to appeal 2 videos at a time? 2 videos, and then they get like the appeal gets rejected again and again and again. Mark doesn't have that time. At that point, it's kind of like, shit, 2 years of content is gone. I kind of have to let it go. There's no fighting it. I just have to let go of 2 years of my life editing away, sitting down, especially if he's a content creator who actually like sits down and edits himself and doesn't like outsource it. Then it's kind of like, I've sat down for 2 years, 2 years of 2 years worth of me sitting down and cutting clips and all of that stuff gone in a single day. And for people who like outsource them to like editors, that's still an issue, because that's like money, a lot of money just gone. That's whoa. I fucking hate anime companies right now. I'm infuriated with them. Jesus Christ.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined, is the exact reaction every single person on YouTube should have to this. Mark, I think at the start, like a couple of year ago, I think he was editing himself, I'm not sure, but the last couple of months now, he has been he had a team of 2 editors, if I'm not mistaken, or a team of 3 people, but at the end of the day, they work as a team. Mark does scripting, comes up with the ideas, voices it, and then other guys just edit it. But it's always a team effort, and yeah, as you said, it's like pretty much the biggest thing those guys have done. Like, doing something on this quality for 2 years is nothing to scoff at. That's something most mainstream TV channels don't even fucking do these days. And a lot of credit should be given to Mark instead of being slapped in the face. If he makes genuinely good content, and good content on YouTube should be rewarded instead of absolutely bullied, pretty much. And YouTube really needs to at least speed up the process of appeals and trying to get your video back, because, as you said, it takes a month and then another 6 months to yes or no get your video back. Like, I don't see that as a big issue to maybe lower that to a smaller point in which, like, okay, like 15 days you have to reply, but then in the second stage have like a month or even less. I don't see why any company that goes out and says like, ooh, shiny video, let me just take that down, yoink, should not be allowed to directly also given almost as soon as possible, be like, yo, you take this video down, here's the guy's appeal, do you accept? Why does that have to wait for half a fucking year? What is this, the middle fucking ages? I'm not sending my emails over to America by sea, for fuck's sake.
No, you have it a bit misunderstood. So basically how an appeal works is that for those who are also trying to like look to jump into YouTube, so basically an appeal works is that if your video gets claimed, right, or taken down or copyright strike in any way, shape, or form, you have a chance to appeal. So you appeal it, and then I think, if I remember correctly, they have to respond within 7 days, right? They have to respond within 7 days, 7 to 30 days. I don't know why the gap in between is so big. I don't know why my mind is trying to remember which one, but they have to respond within 7 days after making that appeal. And then if they don't respond to your appeal, then your video goes back up and everything is like handy dandy. But if they choose to reject your appeal, then it turns into a strike, and then that strike has to wait 6 months to be removed from your channel. Therefore, it's like if you get 3 strikes within those 6 months, then your channel is absolutely gone. But if not, then let's say I get a strike now, then I have to wait 6 months for that strike to actually vanish off my slate. Then I, moves on from there.
Oh yeah, now that I think about it, I said something completely different. I think after thinking of what I said, I think it all boils down to YouTube being more lenient when it comes to this. It's too risky to really go after these guys because, like, as you
They're
said,
billion-dollar companies.
Yeah, and also like the strike stays up for like 6 months. So if you make the same mistake for another 2 times, you'll really be screwed then. So I don't see why that's really a good idea to have it 6 months apart, because there's only so much this long punishment will do. It will only just scare the YouTuber to maybe do less videos or something like that, because if there are less videos, that means less money for YouTube to take from those videos, because YouTube takes like 45% of the revenue, and this slows down production, makes YouTubers be far more less appealed towards making videos, lowering watch time because they're gonna have less things when it comes to editing and visual information, something that really appeals to a lot of people. Less watch time ends up as less advertisement, less being pushed on the YouTube landscape, and that will always boil down to less money. So at the end of the day, both parties make less money. So imagine if this claims, like the strikes, become far more lenient. I would imagine they'll allow people to learn from their mistakes, not do it again, whilst at the same time being comfortable to proceed, but with more caution, instead of panicking and double-checking every iframe.
Yeah, true. YouTube has a lot of issues, and that's like YouTube has so many issues, it's enough for like an hour video of its own. Probably even 2 hours or 3 hours. I'm probably gonna make it one day in the future. Just saying. Anyways, it's like the situation of YouTube has an issue with abusing copyright systems. There's even a most recent story of like what is his name, Kai Weiss versus John Swan, where Kai Weiss basically abused the copyright system. And I guess in this situation, Toei legally is able to take down these videos, because again, you're using their IP without their permission. But it's still a case of you're abusing the copyright system, and the only way to ever actually get YouTube to respond is to create a big enough noise on Twitter. I don't know why it's easier to communicate with YouTube on Twitter than it is to communicate with YouTube on YouTube. It never made sense. That's one of the biggest issues with YouTube, and that's even hurt small creators like us, where we have like under 10,000 subscribers, right? We get hits, and I don't know, maybe I have like I have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, but I only have like 140 something or 100 something followers on Twitter. So if I try and make a noise on Twitter, it's not gonna reach anybody. It's not gonna reach YouTube at all. That's one of the biggest issues, where your audience on YouTube won't immediately translate to your audience on Twitter. Meaning, if your issue happens on YouTube and you're trying to communicate it through Twitter, it's not going to reach YouTube, because again, you don't have enough noise. You don't have a megaphone to make that noise where YouTube can listen and be like, oh, this dude is actually making some noise. All right, let's give him some attention. That's not the case. That's the biggest issue with YouTube, and every YouTuber complains about it. And yet YouTube does absolutely nothing. Instead, they remove the dislike button. Like, wow, thanks. That's totally what you've been asking for.
Yes, let's have this multi-billion-dollar website that is rivaled by absolutely nothing, and let's just not use it for communication. Instead, let's go to a far more inferior place where toxicity and foulness reside, and let's communicate to our fan base from there. Yes, makes flawless sense.
Which is actually kind of funny. I find it kind of, sorry for cutting you off, but I find it kind of funny because YouTube was originally a communications platform. It wasn't a video platform. When it was first ever made, it was like a communications platform like Instagram and Twitter and all of that stuff. Then it became a video platform. And yet, the original communications platform is absolutely shit at communications. Just the irony.
Yep, how the turntables have turned. And yes, I butchered that by intent.
How the turntables have turned.
Yes, I see that as a trend these days. A lot of people do it, and I kind of find it more fresh and funny. But yeah, I also another thing I really don't understand is for years, people, as you said, been like really saying, "Yo, fix this, fix that." This platform has quite literally infinite revenue. There are like hundreds and thousands of videos that get posted every second, and the amount of money that is literally like a waterfall. It's crazy, and they don't lack resources to go and really dig deep and like really focus on fixing the problems, making this platform far more better and far more better for everyone. And yeah, they just removed the dislike button, making everything 10 times worse. YouTube right now is the reigning champion of videos and posting the videos, but sooner or later, another platform will come and really, I don't think about overtaking it, but really be a thorn on YouTube's side. And then, when competition comes up, the thing is gonna change. That's why monopolies and companies are illegal, because if there's only one company for one specific thing, there is no progress, no promotion, no progress and no improvement. There's always gonna be same standard shit. And that's why the Soviet Union, where a lot of people work for the same thing, like barely progressed. It stayed the same, and that's why with economy it stayed the same, always second to USA. USA capitalism really improved and really gave motivation to people actually work, companies to innovate and improve. But with some kind of a restriction like this, when you're pretty much God when it comes to video making, there's like no incentive for you to really do anything and improve stuff. That's why this is like a stark example on why competition is key when it comes to these type of areas. Because if you're just worse, people are gonna move on. That's why a lot of companies trying to innovate, even though it's kind of slow process. But it's still a lot of companies try to innovate, except for YouTube and Twitch, which is getting far worse and worse. If only Mixer and some other YouTube like platforms evolved, we would have been living in a far different landscape than we are now. We will be far less restricted. But to be honest, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, as the saying goes. So those smaller companies, video platforms, might very well evolve into YouTube, because that's how YouTube came about. It went from a platform for creators to make content to now billion corporations just fucking people and stealing money, pretty much. That's how everything devolved. And the original creator of YouTube, on like the first ever video, if you search it, he apparently edited his video's description, stating that YouTube right now is a completely different place. It completely lost the face it was meant to be, and how this dislike button removal is really pushing YouTube to a far worse place. And the following words he didn't say, but YouTube is really becoming like Twitch. Not Twitch, Twitter. This is how Twitter really became toxic, because on Twitter we don't have dislike buttons. And people just say shit and fuck off. And that's why it's full of cess and disgust.
We're basically, with this entire video, well, it's for like 47 minutes right now in raw recording. But basically, this entire thing is us trying to spread awareness to the entire situation of Totally Not Mark. But what I'm going to do is, I know he's much larger than I am, but I'm still going to link a description. Give a link in the description to his channel so that you guys can check him out and support him while he still has videos. And hopefully that can encourage him to continue making more videos and not get beaten up by this entire situation. He's a strong person. We all believe in him. We know he can do great. He makes great content, and we hope that he continues making great content. So this video was us spreading awareness to that entire situation, the corruption of big anime corporations, and also the issues of YouTube. So we managed to talk about one thing and bundle it, talk about three things and bundle it into one. And most importantly, what is the future of anime YouTube? Quite honestly, I'm gonna be pessimistic about the situation. It's not looking very good. Okay, anime YouTube already struggles where it's oversaturated, and a lot of creators aren't able to express their personalities through their content, and they kind of rely on clips from animes and stuff like that to gather attention. Now, with that said, since now a lot of content and clips are going to be removed and constantly stripped down from the YouTube platform, a lot of anime creators won't have a lot of their personalities. Like, a lot of their personalities will be suppressed and a lot of it won't be able to shine through, which is an issue, which means a lot of anime creators will either quit or get discouraged. They'll start posting less, or they'll start completely moving to different genres within the YouTube landscape. That's basically what I see going on, unless these anime corporations can learn to pull up their socks, fix their shits, and then be more lenient with the creators that try their best to promote the content on the platform. But again, as I said before, usually that's not the case. When something bad happens, it just keeps getting worse and it gets abused. The systems that are in place are probably going to get even tighter and they're probably going to get abused. That's how I see the situation happening, and the future of YouTube is a pretty grim one. But as long as creators, let's say if you've made it far into this video, as long as you have that hope and that personality that can shine through even without any visuals on your video, like in a podcast form, just saying, that's all this YouTube platform needs, especially in terms of anime YouTube. You can definitely make it as something big if you just be yourself. Just make your anime content, right? Try your best not to get taken down. If your videos do get taken down, don't be discouraged. Keep going on, because at the end of the day, your personality and your passion is what is making you you. It's why everybody subscribes to your channel, because of you're just an amazing person and you can do it. You can make it throughout this entire platform with just sheer perseverance and personality. And if these companies still keep taking down your videos, fuck them. Keep doing it. Keep being you. That's all. That's the entire advice I can say. So overall, what is the future of anime YouTube? It's grim, but there's hope. There's a silver lining, I guess.
Yeah, it could go both ways. The worst case scenario is Toei doesn't get affected or don't do anything. If they win pretty much, then it's gonna be a really bad case for us. But you have the same situation that happened with H3, even though he sucks ass and is a really bad person. But at the end of the day, he beat a corporation or a massive company in a legal dispute. And that really changed and impacted YouTube in a positive manner. At least something good came from him. So if something like that happens in this situation, where a corporation is really kicked in the nuts and pushed aside, then we could see like this being an example for other companies to really not underestimate YouTube. But it could really go both ways. On one hand, there is no gray area with this. You either win or lose. If it's the worst case scenario, anime content on YouTube is gonna drastically decrease or become far less. Well, the quality is gonna drop, that's for sure. But if we do win, then it's gonna become far more safer for every creator. It's at least you won't have to worry about massive corporations shitting on your head and taking everything away from you.
Yeah, that definitely. Yeah. The future of YouTube, anime YouTubers, fuck my English right now. It's an exciting future. It's exciting because it's both scary and hopeful. It's a yin and yang. It's literally a coin flip. The future of YouTube is a coin flip. That's all I can say. And this is gonna be a lot to edit, but I guess we've said everything we've needed to say, so we're at the end of the video. Please check out Leo's channel. He really makes good content, and I'm not saying that just because he's on a video like collaboration with me. I don't know, you've probably, if you're watching this, you've probably seen one of his videos. What is it again? The artistic evolution of Bleach, which I think at the moment has over 100,000 views. So clearly he makes good content worth watching. So definitely check him out, and also subscribe to this channel if you want to. Again, thank you very much if you actually made it this far into a video. And yeah, this has been Biscord signing out. Bye. Oh yeah, before I go, Leo, do you have any words you want to say?
Yeah. Biscord, first of all, thank you, my G. This was a pretty good experience. Just another collaboration, really just opened everything up and really made video making kind of more appealing again after this whole debacle on YouTube really left a bad taste in my mouth. But this collaboration really kind of lifted my spirits. And thanks for saying all that about my channel. I appreciate it. And yeah, everyone watching, subscribe and like this video right now. I'll come to your home. I'm gonna pull a Nintendo agency on you. Like.
Yeah, you better subscribe. There's Nintendo ninjas outside your window right now, making sure you subscribe.
Yep.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, that has been the end of the video. Again, thank you very much for watching. This has been Biscord and Leo signing out.
この世界の片隅で今を生きる僕らは涙を超えて光の差